go. Clear for liftoff.
We are live, touching on round 2 showdown, a little bit of round 1 talk as we get into the weekend at Hilton Head. I know there's still golfers on the golf course. They probably have like 2 hours left out there. Some of the final guys are taking the turn onto the back nine, but we got a ton of data. We got a ton of information to talk round 1, see who did what and what to look for in round 2. So we had a couple guys shoot rounds of 64, 65 or better. Ludwig get going low, first round leader right now. I do think that's going to hold up. Harry E. and Victor shot 7. Michael Brennan, Gary Woodland shot 6 under. And then there's a few other guys on the golf course still at 5 under. Andrew Novak's at 5 under right now. DB finished 5 under. Ryan Fox, Ricky Fowler got to 6 as well. So I wanted to touch on and see how those guys did it and see if we can find anything in their stat lines to see what they did going into round 2. So Ludwig, it was comedy approach. It was just striping the ball from tee to green. He didn't even hit a ton of fairways. He just hit it in the right spot and got so hot on approach. This Harris English stat line is not something I'm really going to write home about. It was all putter. I think he's first in the field in putting so far. Not something like, yeah, he's first in the field in putting. But also what I do say about putting sometimes is we get on here and we talk like, oh, X guy putts so well. Fade him in round 2. X guy putt horribly. He's got to putt well in round 2. That's not always the case. We see guys luck sack for multiple days in a row, and you're like, damn, this guy is always going to blow up. And then he just doesn't. So Harris English, I don't think he's just going to explode, but he's not going to shoot another 64 tomorrow. Maybe he'll be a low-owned showdown target if you want to go back to him. But Victor Hovland, he was another solid all-green, solid putter. Didn't do anything in terms of too much pop approach. Michael Brennan, pop approach, really solid, keeping that form from Augusta going. Gary Woodland was all green, gained in all 4 categories. Really nice to see. Fox had an unsustainable stat line. He was really around the green base. And then Ricky just finished up really solid on approach, 5th in the field so far on approach. And then Novak is 5 under. He's 4th in the field on approach right now, trailing in the right direction. So the almighty outlier right now is approach play. It's separating. It's going to separate going forward. It's what we thought it was going to separate over the first few days of handicapping this golf tournament. So it's no surprise to see the approach guys coming to fruition in round 1 of the RBC Heritage. Let's look at a current wave split, see how the golfers are playing so far. It shouldn't be much. So right now, the PM guys are getting lower, but they haven't played that final few holes. We can see 17, 18 get a little bit hard. But nonetheless, like, I don't think this is going to be too far different. I think this is going to be very close. But tomorrow, we might get an advantage. Looking at the weather for tomorrow, Friday morning looks a lot calmer than Friday afternoon. We saw those tee times going out early. They're going out in 2. So I think if you can get a set, what time are they going out tomorrow? Because they went out like 7:30 this morning, right? Let's see what time they go out tomorrow. Round 2. They went out 7:05 today. They go out tomorrow, 7:05. So if you can get a tee time from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock and you don't have to play in these stronger winds and stronger gusts, like we're getting 20-mile-an-hour gust at 4 o'clock. We're getting 60 miles an hour gust at 8 o'clock. I know it's only 6 miles an hour, but those gusts, when they get into the 20s, are a big difference, especially when you get down by the water. So I really do think an AM split is going to come to fruition tomorrow. And I think we're early enough in the week, in the contest, that people are going to be like, all right, the PM played well tomorrow. We don't have to stack it. But if we can get ahead of a stack, once the wave splits happen, then we chase them. But it's hard for people to get ahead of them. At least that's what I've seen, in my opinion. So I think we can potentially get ahead of a AM PM stack tomorrow. Looking at contest selection for tomorrow, I really like this $250 for max entry. Although it's $10K up top and 10th place only gets $800, I love the way that you can get. I think $250 is a fair amount for a single lineup for like most of the people's structure. I know it might be a little bit on the higher end, but I think if you can get one lineup, if you really like slate, maybe two, there will be overlay for sure. And by overlay, I mean not everybody will max enter this. So if you put two lineups in there, you'll probably be about field average in terms of percentage of guys that you have in your player pool versus the pool's player pool. But with that being said, if you max enter it, you're going to have massive overlay and have a much more percent chance to cash. And there's only 177 people. 10,000 is not crazy to win. It really isn't. If you have 4 lineups in here and there's only 177 people. So 4 divided by 177 is, sorry, I always do this wrong. 177 divided by 4 is 44. So if everyone max enters this lineup, you only have to beat 4 people. Not everybody will max enter this. And if they did, you can beat 44 people. So I really think this contest is really solid. Whenever they do these $250 4 maxes or those $60 8 max, I absolutely love. So that is my contest of choice for tomorrow. The code is already on the table. You can get all of these projections, all of these sims. Oh, that's a slate plan. Everything in here for free. And as well as the slate plan. So if you take what I keep clicking the wrong thing. The showdown slate plan. If you take some of this core, it's not up yet. It will be up after the round. If you take some of this core, some of these tier rankings, and you pair it with these projections right here, these showdown projections, which will be up in a few hours. This is round 1, obviously. And then you pair it with some of the showdown stone. Like I said, like I always say, not everything is always going to be 100% perfect. But if you take 3 names from each, you can easily land on the nuts easily. So if you use that code BOOTS, it is all going to be free. The next thing I want to talk about is some stats, some guys, and see who are doing what, who can we fade for tomorrow, who could potentially play for tomorrow. Just get a nice little rundown on golfers who are either doing things well, doing things where they have to improve, or golfers who I think are gonna fall back tomorrow. So like Harris English, although I said he might not erupt tomorrow, I don't love that he only gained 0.6 off the tee, only is about 0 on approach, and gained 5 strokes in the short game. That is obviously not sustainable. But like Harris English is a good enough golfer to adjust. I just don't see a full on like +3 round coming from him. I think he'll shoot like 1 or 2 under tomorrow. Down here, this is kind of a perfect profile we're looking for from Ricky Fowler. He's doing everything good, but the approach play is really good. So he has room to grow on the putting green with the around the green game with a little better driving. He had a horrible drive on 15, still made par. So Ricky Fowler is a perfect profile, in my opinion, for tomorrow. Down the board a little bit. Right here, Bud Cauley. He's gaining strokes off the tee, gaining a little bit on approach, and just losing a little bit on the greens. I don't expect Bud Cauley to gain 2.5 strokes on approach, but Bud Cauley has the profile to pair this green with a pop on the putting greens. Bud Cauley in the 6K range, I think, is a nice call there. Who is this right here? Only through 10 holes, but Matt Fitzpatrick is putting together a stat line that makes a ton of sense for tomorrow, and he is going out in the morning. So I do like Matt Fitzpatrick. And hot take, he likes Harbor Town. So Matt Fitzpatrick is another good play. This is a Ludwig Sunday crumble profile. Let's look at Ludwig's profile right now. I don't know how much of a crumble it is. I'm higher on Ludwig in terms of like figuring it out than I think most people. I know he has a caddy problem. I think the caddy problem is real, but he's been doing this so solidly. If he's gaining 3 strokes on approach he's not going to gain 3 strokes on approach per round, but if he's gaining 1 to 3 strokes on approach per round and is just anemic, I mean, not anemic on the putting green, he can play okay and win this golf tournament. I'm not saying I'm not going to be out there saying Ludwig is just going to crumble because everyone's thinking that. So let's find some more guys down the leaderboard. Let's look for 2 more guys, and then we'll get to the one golfer that I am on. So who's this right here? Shot 2 over today. Alex Noren. Alex Noren lost a few strokes off the tee. I wonder how accurate he's driving it. If Alex Noren is driving it accurately, I think he could be a sneaky, really solid play tomorrow, even though he's in the afternoon. So Alex Noren, he hit driving accuracy. He hit 7 out of 14 fairways. That's not bad. You know who else hit 7 out of 14 fairways? Ludwig. And he beat Alex Noren by 10. Strokes gained Sweden. I think Alex Noren is kind of a nice play for tomorrow because he is, where are we? because he is, let me get that back to normal profile. He's about -1 on the greens. That's okay. That can turn. The around the green play was bad, but he's gaining on approach. The approach is what we are looking for. So he is gaining on approach, and he hit 7 fairways today. I think that will turn in the right direction for Alex Noren. And then one more golfer down here is kind of a mess, but you're going to have to play somebody down here. Maybe, Akshay's expensive, and he's only through 14 holes. A profile that doesn't seem crazy. I don't want to chase Rio because everyone loved Rio going in, and I'm down with a -0.5, -1 putter. I don't want to chase 3.5 strokes putting loss on the green. So this is kind of bleak down here, guys. It really is bleak down here, but I'll try to find one person that could potentially make sense. Austin Smotherman, he was about -1 everywhere, a 0 on approach. We know he's been really solid on approach. Let's see if he was hitting any fairways. If Smotherman showed any signs of fairway, then I am more in than out. He hit 10 out of 14 fairways. So yeah, Austin Smotherman is a golfer that also makes sense. But the moment of truth, the reason that we all came here is the one golfer that I am on. And the one golfer that I am on goes by the name of Corey Conners. He is 2 under today so far through 14 holes and has made 5 birdies. Make that, 5 birdies with a triple. Corey Conners is losing strokes on approach so far, but that is due to a water ball. If you go to the stone and go to the true approach delta, Corey Conners should be in the green there. Combine that with a chip in the water on number 4. This is not that bad. He's striping off the tee. This approach, like I said, is not that bad, and he's gaining strokes putting. That is an amazing profile for Corey Conners, and he will be going out in the morning. So that is a perfect profile that we are looking for, Corey Conners. So yeah, that's the golfer that I'm on. That is the slate breakdown. And as always, the song of the day. The song of the day is going to be Chokehold by Sleep Token. Good band, good songs, kind of came in my head. So that's it. I'll be back tomorrow night. You know where to find me. Any questions? You also know where to find me. Peace out. Let's ship it.